SanFernando, good evening. I didn't hear that good evening, you know. It's 300 people inside here, you know, it's supposed. Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, Prime Minister, Member of Parliament for Diego Martin West, and political leader of the only true political party in Trinidad and Tobago. The Honorable Faris Alwari, Member for SanFernando West, our Attorney General, and again, one of the best Attorney General in this country. The Honorable Brian Manning, MP for SanFernando East, and clearly Minister in the Ministry of Finance and following in his father's footsteps. Congratulations, Brian. Mayor of SanFernando, my cabinet colleagues, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. The last time I was in SanFernando was in 2020. To speak in SanFernando was in 2020. And that function was the launch of the SanFernando Waterfront Project. I was accompanied by your Member for Parliament for SanFernando West, the Honorable Prime Minister was here, and several ministers. And we were about launching the SanFernando Waterfront Project. That was a wonderful day for me. However, on completion of the launch, our opponents laughed, and they said that was the third time the people of SanFernando attended a launch for the SanFernando Waterfront Project. What they did not understand this time around was Faris Alwari was the Member of Parliament for SanFernando West. They did not understand that the leader of the PNM was Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. And what they did not understand, that Dr. Rowley had put a team together that was all about getting it done. Today, as Minister of Works and Transport, who played an integral part at that launch, because I think the Ministry of Works and Transport were the first out of the box where our projects were ready to go, we kicked off that project. And today, if you go down to the Lady Hales Avenue, you will see a vast amount of construction taking place. That project started, the vision for that project started over 50 years ago. And it was this administration started it and will see it completed. Right now, where we are on the road works. The Ministry of Works is also responsible for the Broadwalk and the coastal protection, which will start subsequent to the roads being completed. And there are several other aspects to that project. Residential housing, commercial activity, sorry.
Thank you ever so kindly. SanFernando, would you please stand to welcome our political leader and the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Member of Parliament for the constituency of Diego Martin West, our leader, phenomenal, the man who has steered us through this pandemic, through the economic turbulence, through the disaster that is the United National Congress, the man who will continue to look after the interests of each and every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, the captain of our PNM ship, and our loving Prime Minister. Would you please welcome Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley.
Yes, I'm gonna make it. Even though all is long, no matter what come on, I'll make it. Yes, I'm gonna make it. Remember the days of total.
Thank you, and welcome, Dr. Rowley. This is the leader I was telling you about. This is the leader who will get everything done for you in SanFernando. So as I said before, the Ministry of Works, we are pushing ahead on that SanFernando waterfront project, and very soon you will see the effects of one of the most beautiful cities in Trinidad. I should say only Sani Grande might be giving you some competition there. But the Ministry of Works in San Fernando is not just about the waterfront project. The Ministry of Works and Transport have several projects in San Fernando. And if you go just a little way down, just before we start the San Fernando Highway by Gulf City there, you'll see a lot of widening of the road taking place. That is just phase 1. The repair and the widening of the South Trunk Road to join that highway going all the way to Point Fortin. And phase 2 includes the removal of the lights at that junction there, which caused a lot of traffic jam and so, to be replaced with a smooth flowing roundabout. So we are hoping that this week, MP, you will see the road work starting in that area. A lot of work taking place in the San Fernando area. That will lead us straight into the San Fernando to Point Fortin Highway. And it was in 2017, May of 2017, when that highway was restarted. Against all the odds, we know exactly what went on there. I remember as Minister of Works coming in just a couple months before that, was told that this government could never restart that highway. That highway has too much problems. And I said, what? I don't want to get fired within 6 months of taking up the office. We're going to start the highway. And I can give you the assurance now, today, that we will be driving from San Fernando to Point Fortin direct in 2022. That highway will be delivered. Some of the most technical parts of the highway, the creek, the consultant, ACOM, what they are telling me is that they are impressed with the performance of the local contractors. And you must remember, it was Dr. Rowley's vision to split that highway up into smaller packages and let the local compete with the foreigners. All packages were won by the local, and they are delivering the highway the way the international consultants are expecting it to do. So I want to congratulate them and to tell you, the people in the southern part of Trinidad and Tobago, that by 2022, we will have that highway delivered to you once and for all. The Ministry of Works is not just about doing one highway in the south part of the island. We have several projects ongoing, large projects. We have the Komoto to Sani Grande Highway. And again, I'm hoping in 2022, we can have access to certain parts of that highway. So the eastern part of the country will be the benefactors of a highway for the first time in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. The citizens of the Valencia area, the North Coast, work is pushing ahead on yet another major roadway from Valencia Junction all the way to Toco. And again, in 2022, I'm hoping to have the from Valencia Junction to the Toco Road handed over to the citizens on the eastern part of the island. The Moruga Upgrade Road, major work. Again, work is pushing ahead in Moruga. In Diego Martin, an interchange that have been outstanding for years. We're expecting to hand over that sometime in 2022 for the people in the west part of the island. The Mova interchange, major project, again, should be handed over, if not late in 2021. We're almost at the end of the year now, early in 2022. The port in Moruga, major project, work is pushing ahead there. We delivered the Kirap interchange, and the standard that we set there, we are hoping to take that further east, where we should have in 2022, the Macoya interchange, a major interchange being started, heading up again to the east. The Ministry of Works understand the task ahead. In 2015, I was told by an economist that the 2015 general election was an election to lose. And I said, why? He said, because this country is going to be very difficult to govern based on the financial aspect of running a country, because they saw the decline in revenue. That same economist told me last year, if you think 2015 to 2020 was bad because of the COVID, you will see what you will have to face with going forward. And I can tell you, despite the challenges with the leadership of Dr. Rowley, the financial management of Minister of Finance, Minister Imbert, we will continue the work program. We will not be derailed. Projects may not come at the pace or be completed at the pace because we do have financial challenges. We're not going to run from that. We are in a pandemic. The world is reeling from a pandemic. But this government have never lost focus. We continue. And we are not just about big projects. The Pure unit continues to do road maintenance. However, I am not happy with the condition of our local roads, most of our roads. I am fed up of telling the population that road is not mine, and that road is local government, and that road is agriculture. I don't think the population wants to hear that anymore. And the Ministry of Works, we decided that, look, if you're blaming us for all the roads, you might as well take the blame and take the forefront in how we address this. And we have decided in this financial year to treat with these secondary roads and even some of the roads under our purview. We went to the Minister of Finance, and the Minister of Finance have made available to us an additional line item where we can take some of the roads, like right here in SanFernando. You have the Coffee Street, a road that doesn't fall under us, but it's a heavy traverse road, right? And you have several roads right here in SanFernando. We have roads like in Couva, the Camden Road. We have roads like in St. Augustine, in the Currap area. Roads that take a lot of traffic. In Sandy Grande, the Picton Road, the Ojo. People will think these are main roads. They are not. The Minister of Finance made funding available for us at the ministry to assist the corporations in some of these major roads, some of the agricultural roads that we considered agriculture in years gone by, but the amount of traffic on these roads, we have to do something about it. We can't just pass the buck, and the Ministry of Works don't intend to pass the buck like that. We have to address this problem head on, and we are going to do it. The Ministry of Finance also told us that he will make funding available for us to do some spot patching on our road, milling and spot patching. And we intend to have a vigorous project going forward, because it's not just about big projects. They like to talk about, the government only likes to look at big projects. We have to balance it. Could you imagine no Solomon Hulchai Highway or no Uriah Butler Highway, and where all those cars would be going through Currap, the old southern main road to come to SanFernando? It'll take you 3 days to reach to SanFernando with the amount of vehicles on the road now. Our government has to balance development with maintaining the existing road, and that is what we intend to do. We also intend to, at the Ministry of Works, to acquire a new asphalt plant using the recycled material that we mill from the road. We anticipate that will reduce the cost to us by about 60%. 60%, and that could be used on secondary roads to assist the corporations and most of the roads that we feel, we should be attending to. So we intend this year to look at as we say, a green asphalt plant that will help the environment, and it will help us with the recycling material. Those are some of the things that we are looking at the ministry to improve the existing roads that we have. In terms of drainage, it's no secret the entire world is being affected by climate change, and Trinidad will not be spared. Our infrastructure for drainage in Trinidad, at best, is about 50 years old. It is impossible to cope with the new norm in the weather pattern. What you get now, you get some downpours, a significant amount of rain in a short space of time. We have been doing a lot of desilting over the last couple of years. We have ramped up that program, and no one can say that the place is flooded out for any length of time. As the rain stops, the water runs off. That is a sign that the water courses are cleared. That is a sign that we are doing our work. However, the infrastructure just cannot handle that volume of rainfall. And we have several projects ongoing right now. We are upgrading 14 different sites. We're bringing in new pumps, putting in new gates. But that alone will not help. Because again, you have places like New York, with their infrastructure, people dying. Recently, the president of Guyana said that catastrophe of flooding was the worst catastrophe in the history of Guyana, where almost 29,000 houses went underwater. President of America said global warming is probably the most dangerous thing to face in our lifetime. Flooding is something that we have to put attention to, and that is why we are working now with the Andean Development Bank, who hired some international consultants, and they are working with us as to how we go forward dealing with flooding. Every time the rainfall, the minister didn't clean the drain, the minister didn't clean the river. So when New York flooded out, I was supposed to go and clean the drains in New York. When Germany flooded out, the minister works in Trinidad, didn't clean the drain up there. India, only yesterday I saw how much people died in India from flooding. Flooding is a phenomenon that is here, and it will get worse as we go along. But our plan going forward is to ramp up the programs that we have, but look at more programs, larger programs that can cope with the global change. So we are addressing the flooding issue. In terms of our coastal protection unit, a lot of work is going on the coastline, because we see the coastline as a major part of our flooding issues, because we are an island and we have to protect our coastline. So we have several projects going on. Unfortunately, the time that we have at the podium tonight, I can't roll out the individual programs for you. But I can give you the assurance in SanFernando, which is you all are under the drainage program, because under a drainage program, the country is divided into 4 segments. And the South Division gets a fair share of our budget, because we recognize there are certain areas in the South that is prone to flooding. And a major part of our program is here, and also our coastal protection program. I give you the assurance that the Ministry of Works and Transport is doing all we can to ensure that the money that we get at the Ministry of Works and Transport is well spent. We have reduced the price of construction by close to 25%. And we have done that based on competitive tendering. So your money is being well spent. The Ministry of Works is a very large ministry, very large. And there are 2 areas or 2 units that I would like to single out tonight for some praises. The Airport Authority. Recently, the Airport Authority won the award, the Skytrack Award, for the best airport in the Caribbean. This is 2020-21. This is just a couple months ago. And also the cleanest airport in the Caribbean. And I think the 3rd best airport in Central America. What amazed me, a couple days ago, 2 days ago, KLM, one of the oldest airlines in the world, after 20-odd years, decided to fly back to Trinidad. And at the launch, in conversation with the people from KLM, I was amazed as to, we started this negotiation with them in 2019. In 2019, and they said, yes, they will look at Trinidad. And then eventually they said, okay, they're coming. In collaboration, obviously, with the Ministry of Tourism and the Airport Authority and obviously the Civil Aviation and so. But what was amazing is that they told me they looked at Trinidad and Tobago, and they feel that post-COVID, Trinidad and Tobago will be one of the fastest countries to rebound. And I put that straight to our leader, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, and his leadership, where an international airline like that could look at Trinidad and Tobago and say, you all are doing the right thing. You all will rebound sooner than everybody else, and we are going to fly to Trinidad. I thought, again, that was a big cap in the feather of the Airport Authority and the government of Trinidad and Tobago to bring back KLM here. In terms of using technology, this government have been in the forefront with our digitalization program. Another agency under the ministry that I want to single out is the License Office. The License Office have won the IDB Award for Innovation using technology in 2020. And only today, we launched at the License Office the mobile bus service, where in one small bus, you could actually have an entire license office where you can do every single transaction just in one bus. And that is what technology does. We don't have to have this big building like in Caroni that costs almost $200 million. One bus, fully computerized, that will be driving to all the rural areas. And that will be the license office there, using technology and bringing service to the people. I want to congratulate the license office again. And before, I have 2 minutes, so I have to go into it, but I just want to endorse what Brian said when he spoke about the people trying to destabilize this country. And I want to warn Trinidad and Tobago, be careful, because I recently saw a video with a member of parliament burning tires, encouraging the burning, right? And what was amazing, it was done in the full view of the police service. I am worried about that. I got a lot of stick because the ministry made a statement about people should not be doing that. And we estimated the cost. And I got a lot of stick because they said because it's people from Barrackpore. I had some people sending me texts how I could do my people that. And I find that was unfortunate. Because when St. Joseph, which is on the East-West Corridor, when somebody went there and burned 3 pumps, which cost us, I think, about $250,000 to repair, I made the same statement that they should not be doing that. That costs us money. When somebody in St. Joseph went and was stealing the dirt on the riverbank, I made a statement. So why it is, if I make a statement on people damaging the government road in Barrackpore, it turns into a racist statement. That should not be. Let us be careful of the people who we are listening to. Because Trinidad and Tobago, the world is going through a crisis. Everybody is a little bit on edge. And as members of parliament, as legislators, we have to be much more responsible in our actions. I thank you and I give you the assurance that this country is in great hands. Great is the PNM. Thank you.